Hello and welcome to the highlights of the 2012 Tour of Oman. A race held in great surroundings with magnificent weather and challenging terrain. 6 stages covering 875 kilometres, and the riders getting used to the weather and the mechanics readying the bikes ready for the race. All the top teams are here, the top sprinters. We leave the dam behind and now race from Awabi to the BankMuscat headquarters. A stage today which is going to take the riders 144.5 kilometres. Along the route, everyone's getting inspired by this Tour of Oman, the 3rd edition, of course, of this race, and a real progression from the first year. Crash earlier on here in the neutralised section, which is very unusual, and it's David Apollonio of Team Sky who hits one of the only road cones we've seen along the route. There he is, topples over. Luckily he is okay. Yeah, it looked like the rider in front of him just went round the cone, and Apollonio right behind him had nowhere to go. Racing underway, and it's going to be an interesting day for Peter Sagan to hold on to this red jersey. Remember, at the end of every stage there are 10, 6 and 4 second time bonuses, and also on 2 intermediate sprints 3, 2 and 1 seconds on offer. Some early attacks starting to happen. And it looks like we've got Kevin Hulsmans in the yellow colours of Farnese Vini, who's trying to break away here. Will Clark from Champion System in the blue, white and orange colours. He was on the attack at the end of yesterday's stage. The man from Tasmania, who's on very good form already this season. And it looks like the peloton are happy for this breakaway to have a little bit of a chance in the lead. The advantage now growing, 1 minute and 44 seconds. First sprint of the day. Just up in the lead here is Lamar in the Bridgestone anchor colours. So this Frenchman, he looks like he's on very good form already in this Tour of Oman, but Isayev is going to race him all the way to the line, and he takes the bonus seconds. Those will be very handy. The 26-year-old, very good time trialist, looking good. On the head of the peloton now are a couple of the sprinters' teams. Team Sky, the gap is 1 minute and 54 seconds with 80 kilometres to go. Mark Cavendish can be seen about 10 or 12 places back. This is without doubt one of the best opportunities for the sprinters to power out of the pack and take the stage. Well, the gap is dropping with 10 kilometres to go. 52 seconds now the advantage for these 4 leaders. Lamar's looking at everybody. He's very keen to keep this one going as we head past Airport Heights. This sandy colour is something that we're getting very used to. These cut-throughs on the Muscat Expressway as the breakaway goes across the top of the road. They can glance across and see the peloton winding its way round this turn and then up over the top as well and heading down towards the finish. Hulsmans there in the luminous yellow colours, a pro since 2000. He's had a 6th place in the classic race Het Nieuwsblad, but this breakaway group is about to be reeled in by this fast-moving peloton. They don't want anything to happen. That doesn't mean that it's a bunch sprint today. Lamar, however, goes on the attack on the right-hand side. Still a little bit of energy in the tank, so he's trying now to just use a little bit of opportunism and break away if he can. Lamar banks the bike round to the left-hand side. And a little bit of rock and roll on the shoulders just gives us a bit of an indication of how much effort this man is putting in. Team Sky all on the front, looking for the world champion to take the victory if he possibly can. But we have got such a great collection of sprinters in here. Callum Zainoff, Cavendish, Farrar. We've also got Greipel, of course, who took stage 1. But there are many other sprinters like Marcel Kittel also in this group. And, of course, Matt Goss, the winner of Milan-San Remo, who will fancy their chances on this flat run-in. 1 kilometre now to go, and it's Mario Fischer, the Brazilian champion, who leads and looks round to see where Tyler Farrar is. Is he going to bring him home for a victory? Sagan is up there in the red jersey. Fischer swings across. The last lead-out man for a Farrar is Robbie Hunter in the yellow shoes. The move starts to happen on the right-hand side now, and Greipel in the green jersey is being led through by his team from Lotto Belisol. But Garmin trying to just stir things up a little bit if they possibly can. It's a headwind finish. Here comes Cavendish on the left-hand side. He's left it very, very late to make his move. Here goes Marcel Kittel in the middle in the white and green. And Sagan is going for it. Greipel goes for the wheel in the green jersey, but Kittel has the power. Cavendish has left it too late. Kittel is going to go for the line. Look at this. The young rider from Project 1T4I, Marcel Kittel, takes his second win of 2012. Goes right down the middle of the road, and that is a great victory. Kittel very, very happy with that one. That's a real morale booster. He takes the stage of the Tour of Oman down by the BankMuscat headquarters, and Greipel takes second. Buhani punches his way into third place. The red jersey changes hands again, back on the shoulders of Andre Greipel. He leads now, a slender advantage, 2 seconds. Buhani moves into third, Baden Cook down to fourth. With Andre Greipel back in the red jersey, day 4 takes us from Bidbid down to Wadi Kabir. It's a stage of 142.5 kilometres, 2 finishing circuits of 13 kilometres that should put paid to the hopes of the sprinters. Stein Vandenberg, the first rider to stretch his legs for Omega Pharma Quick-Step. Looks like we have the counter-attack starting to happen, and it could be this man Ludovic again, and it is the Belgian rider, so 2 Belgians at the front of this race. The peloton look content to let this one go away. And Vandenberg and Ludovic through the heat haze are building a big advantage here. 6 minutes and 31 seconds. So the biggest lead that we've seen in the Tour of Oman so far this year. The Omani flag's been waved again at the side of the road. These kids really enjoying the action. Well, along this route today, there are a couple of very, very tough climbs, and this one that we're about to hit is no exception. This is Al Hamrai, and the 2 riders working their way up the slopes. You can see just how tough it is as Ludovic gets himself out of the saddle, puts a little bit more effort in, and the peloton haul their way up to the top of the climb. Well, it's Bernie Eisel's birthday today, his 31st birthday, and Mark Cavendish has said that as a present he will not get dropped today on any of these climbs, and he'll make sure that that is his birthday present to Bernie Eisel, his faithful friend and teammate who's moved to Team Sky for 2012. It's extremely warm today as these 2 riders go down the descent. It's possible to hit around about 100 kilometers an hour on this rapid move down back towards the next climb of the day. And as you can see, rolling countryside, a little bit of a scene of a Star Wars movie as we hit 42 kilometers to go. 3 minutes and 4 seconds, the advantage is being cut. Onto the finishing circuit now for these two riders, and Stein Vandenberg and Ludovic have had a long old day in the saddle. As we're onto the climb of Al Jassar, Vandenberg here is keen to keep kicking on. The man who lives in Oudenaarde, the home of the Tour of Flanders, one of the tallest riders in the peloton at 199 centimetres tall. 1 minute 49 seconds. On the front of the peloton now, the rider from Green Edge is Matt Goss as he goes back down towards sea level. And then we climb all the way back up towards the finishing area, a rapid downhill descent and through the finish line. It is a strength-sapping finishing circuit, and Stein Vandenberg has decided he's going to go it alone. He leaves Klaas Ludovic, the rider who's been on the attack for pretty much a lot of these stages. These riders will be wishing they can dive into that waterfall structure there on the left-hand side of the road. Ludovic panting his way up this long rise. He looks round, he sees the former winner of the Paris-Roubaix, Stuart O'Grady, on the front. One lap of the finishing circuit to go for Stein Vandenberg. He is building an advantage that is now almost a minute, 59 seconds for this rider. He won the Tour of Ireland in 2007. So a few more attacks starting to happen back in the peloton. They are keen to bring this rider back. The sprinters in a little bit of trouble. We're hearing that Farrar and Cavendish are on the back of the string, and they are not looking to contend this sprint. So it should, if the team directors are right, come down to a couple of riders, maybe a small group going all the way to the finish line. It is not a course that we would expect to see one of the heavier sprinters come through to win this stage. Vandenberg's time in the lead is about to be over with 7.2 kilometers to go. It's been a fantastic day for him, but the victory is not going to be his. The peloton catch him. The French champion is towards the front. You can see the grimaces on these riders, showing their teeth as they make their way up towards the top of this rise. Lotto Belisol all looking round. I'm just glancing my way through the front of this peloton to see who is there. Looks like Team Sky are riding for Chris Sutton, the Australian rider. Ian Stannard is towards the front. Now we have the move of, looks like Vincenzo Nibali as we head towards the final kilometre of this stage. It is 1.1 kilometres to go, and the Italian who won the Vuelta, the Tour of Spain, trying to pinch a few little seconds here on the run into the finish. It is a very, very tough run in here, slightly uphill. As we look down, we can see the team from FDJ getting more and more confident in this race. Another move on the right-hand side as Radio Shack tried to line things up for the former World Time Trial champion Fabian Cancellara. All out of the saddle now as Andy Schleck powers his way on the front. He swings across, he sees Cancellara, who's going to give it some full throttle, but look at this, Andre Greipel, where's he come from? He's got himself back into this peloton, and now he's at the front of the race. As they go for the line, it's Sagan in the middle in the white jersey, but Greipel's going to go through the middle. Greipel takes an unexpected stage win, the German with his second victory of this race, and he was out of the back of the peloton on the run into the finish, but somehow his squad have got him here, and Greipel takes the win.
Thank you, man. Yes, it's fun.
What a victory for Andre Greipel. 6 wins in 2012. He wins ahead of Sagan, Galopin in 3rd place, Fahani again up there in 4th. We thought this red jersey would be on the shoulders of someone else, but Greipel says, no, I'm keeping it for another day. 6 seconds is advantage, Bahani in 3rd. Stage 5 of this year's Tour of Oman, a strength-sapping ride to the top of the Green Mountain. 158 kilometres face the riders, pretty much uphill all day. An early attack here from Bernie Eisel of Team Sky. He celebrated his birthday and now he's going to go on the attack. He's joined by the New Zealander from Dunedin, Greg Henderson. Eisel and Henderson having a little bit of a conversation, a few smiles. Remember, these two riders, former teammates from the HTC squad. They've done a fair few miles together on training rides and also in breakaways. 6 riders have been on the attack pretty much all day. 19.2 kilometres to go. Their advantage is 30 seconds. They've never got more than about 2.5 minutes, and that's not surprising. It has been a grinding day in the Tour of Oman, is probably the way to describe it. But these riders, these 4 riders now staying away. They've dropped Bernie Eisel and Greg Henderson. The 4 riders are Kohler, Timmer, Gatto and Clark. And Eisel and Henderson, any moment now, will be caught by the peloton as they set themselves up for the finish. No surprise that we see the team of Katusha on the front in the red and white. As Eisel and Henderson are caught, they'll be looking round to see their teammates and take up their domestique duties. The reason for this Katusha team being on the front is the little climber Joaquim Rodriguez, the former Spanish champion, who will like to win at the top of this green mountain. These 4 riders haven't got long on the attack now as we turn round for the first time and get a slight crosswind and then a tailwind on the run-in. Katusha still have control of the front of the race. 15 kilometres to go. The final 7 is all uphill. Racing through Burqa. Tom Boonen on the front doing his team duties for the day. Maybe trying to set Peter Velits up for a victory. At the back, Mark Cavendish will just ride his way to the top of this climb. Well, this one ramps up in 2 stages. The first stage of the climb is somewhere between 13 and 14%. It then levels off, and the next part of the climb is very, very tough indeed. This is Van Vinden of Rabobank. As he tries to go away, it's very, very early in this climb to do that. We've had no shade at all day. Greipel in trouble in the red jersey. No surprises, he's had a magnificent race so far. He has defended this jersey when we haven't expected it. And actually, for the second time today, we have a little bit of shade. Other than that, the sun beating down on the backs of these riders. Here is Andy Schleck as he tries to ride his way back to the leaders. The man who, of course, will be thinking about July in the Tour de France. Van Vinden about to be caught. Now we have the counter-attack with 4.6 kilometres to go. Everyone was saying that this morning it would all depend on how this climb was ridden. If they raced from the bottom, then riders like Sagan would be in trouble. If they didn't and took the bottom of the climb steady, then we might see Sagan take the jersey. But the answer is that Sagan in the white jersey doesn't have the legs to go with the acceleration of his teammate. Vincenzo Nibali looking very, very good indeed. Sagan is going to lose some time. At the front, 3.7 kilometres to go. Tendam looks across. Nibali goes for another attack. He's got such a magnificent climbing style, this man. Winner of the Vuelta, 3rd in the Giro d'Italia. And he's now focused on trying to take the victory at the top of the Green Mountain. But he'll also want to take some time and ensure that he takes the red jersey as well. Started today a fair distance down on the general classification, 49 seconds down, as he keeps the momentum going forward. Fuglsang of Radio Shack, he looks like he is struggling a little bit on these steep slopes. And towards the front is Sandy Cassar, a stage winner of the Tour de France. 1.6 kilometres to go. You can see it really ramping up again, and the advantage being built by Nibali. Velits looking strong in the blue and black colours of this Omega Pharma Quick Step squad. They have had a magnificent start to this year's season. Cassar on the wheels for FDJ. Also in there is Slagter of Rabobank, but Nibali, you can see the rock and roll as he keeps the urgency. 1 kilometre to go to the top. It's so difficult for these riders who've been in that headwind all day today to suddenly come out on the climb and perform the way they're expected. 13 seconds as Velits goes it alone. Kassar is the next rider to get to the 1 kilometre point, and Janison of FDJ, his teammate, the 26-year-old, also now racing well on these slopes. Nibali like a metronome, trying to keep the rhythm going. Kassar looks across. The top of this climb can't come quick enough for this man. Nibali looks like he's struggling. He goes to the left-hand side, gets himself a bit of respite from the sunshine, being urged on by the fans on the other side of the road as we look here at Velits. Third in the Vuelta, he's at a top 20 place in the Tour de France, and Velits looks the stronger on this final bit of the mountain. Nibali looking for another gear, but the answer is there isn't one there, as Velits can see his prey in front of him, and he's edging ever closer now to Nibali. The sweat all over that jersey. We're racing up to 1,235 metres above sea level, the last 300 metres now of this climb. Nibali is suffering so badly on this mountain now. You can just see every pedal stroke is pure concentration. The lactic acid burning its way through this man. 150 metres now to go to the line. How long did that last 150 take? A little bit more energy. Can he find something to just hold on for the stage victory? It's going to be so close between him and Velits for the final red jersey of today's stage. And of course, 10 seconds on offer for this rider if he can get his way to the line. 6 seconds for second place, 4 seconds for third. Well, Nibali is going to take the stage victory. He looks around, he hauls himself across the line. The Green Mountain victory goes to Nibali. He takes it, but Velits isn't far behind, and he may well take the red by a very slender advantage. Velits crosses the line now in second place. Tony Galopin being overtaken by Janssen of FDJ, who's ridden the last bit of this climb extremely well. Lifting the front wheel, such as the speed that he's accelerating at. Kassar takes third, a good day for FDJ. Janssen takes fourth. Galopin will finish in fifth place. No more energy left in the tank with some of these riders. Slagter finishes now. A tremendous win for Nibali. That took guts and determination. Nibali takes a stage win. He's on the top step of the podium. 10 seconds was his winning advantage ahead of Velits. Kassar in third place, 25 seconds down on the day. The sprinters group losing a lot of time, over 8 minutes today. Greipel in the red jersey finishes now with Cavendish and the other sprinters. Can see exhausted riders. That was one tough day in the Tour of Oman. This man smiling though, the Velits takes the red jersey. 1 second is his advantage on Nibali. Galopin 17 seconds down. And so to the final stage of the Tour of Oman, stage 6. From Al Hawed to Matrah Corniche. It's a ride of 130.5 kilometres, but these riders are going to have to pay attention all the way along the route because that slender 1 second advantage is all to fight for. This race will be decided over the next 130.5 kilometres between Peter Velits and Vincenzo Nibali of Liquigas. We head to the first sprint of the day, a very, very important one. 3 seconds on offer for the first rider across the line, 2 for the second, 1 for the third. An Omega Pharma quick step on the right-hand side into this headwind, looking pretty good. Liquigas in the lime green on the left-hand side. They now have control. Nibali's gritting his teeth in second place. Has he got the power now to beat Velits? There goes Boonen on the right-hand side of the screen, the former world champion. He looks like he's going to take the 3 seconds. A team performance from Omega Pharma quick step, and they have ensured there that still Velits is in the red jersey. Look at the power of Boonen as he heads towards the line. Three riders on the break now. Van der Velde of Garmin with his teammate, the tall, rangy rider there, Van Summeren, and also Laurens ten Dam in the orange of the Rabobank squad. These 3 riders building a good advantage, but the peloton are looking now to ride them down and try and bring them back. Look at that. They're just in front of the peloton now as we approach the concluding stages of this stage of the Tour of Oman and, of course, the entire race. Van der Velde on the front, 5th place in the Tour de France previously. Van Summeren, a former winner of Paris-Roubaix. And ten Dam is a talented bike rider, but they have been unable to hold off this fast-moving peloton. The arrowhead formation on the front as they head up towards the line. And any moment now, the cavalry will charge and they will bring this breakaway group back. Over the line this time, it's 1 lap of the finishing circuit to go. And as you can see, it's Team Sky who are going to take this breakaway back into the group and set things up for the sprinters. And is Mark Cavendish going to repeat his performance of 2011? He won this stage, of course, riding previously for his HTC squad. Green Edge taking control, but now Garmin take over. Mario Fischer sitting in second place as the trains start to form. We haven't seen that of Mark Cavendish, so the world champion is way down this string as Project 1T4i come to the front as well. Mario Fischer in the green and yellow of the Brazilian road race champion. This man is able to give it some gas. He's a small rider, but the amount of watts that he produces is really, really impressive as all the riders line out behind him. Garmin licking their lips at the possibility of taking a stage win with Tyler Farrar. David Miller gives it full throttle. Robbie Hunter is looking to come through, but here comes the move on the left-hand side of FD Joux with Bahani. Marcel Kittel is also there for Project 1T4i, and looks to me like Galem Zainov is also looking for a stage win here. As we head towards the finish line, Garmin have control. Farrar comes off the wheel. Kittel goes on the left-hand side. It's Marcel Kittel going all the way to the line. The powerful German is going to take his 2nd stage win. That is a stunning victory for the man from Project 1T4i. Sagan was also up there, and Farrar was in 3rd place. Cruising across the line, tailwind, and an exceptional speed as they hit the line. Marcel Kittel takes the stage victory on the final day. Sagan in 2nd, Farrar in 3rd, and Galem Zainov in 4th place. The red jersey secured by the Slovakian rider Peter Velits.
I don't think it's a big surprise or something. The team was strong and they was always strong, but maybe they just missed a little bit of motivation, a little bit of luck also. But now with the more and more coming victories, everybody's more and more confident, and the team is working really well together, and yeah, that's why we're successful.
Peter Velits wins with the smallest margin possible, 1 second ahead of Nibali. Tony Galopan, a great ride in 3rd place. Well, there's been some magnificent sprinting, some great mountain climbs and wonderful scenery. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll leave you with the best bits. Bye for now.